Hey, what is up YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. I hope you're all doing well. In today's video, I am breaking down Trade Day, a futures prop firm, and this company, I've been trading with them since October of 2023, so I will also be sharing my experiences and my honest opinion throughout this video. Now, first things first, this is what you could expect from the video, and I do want to do a quick shout out to get this out of the way of the 50% off sale going on with Trade Day. You could use my code. It is active until February 16th, so feel free to click the link in my description down below if you guys are interested to either sign up or if you just want to check out their website. Now, it's not very often they have sales either, so that's why I think it's important to throw that out there as first things first. Now, coming into the background of Trade Day, they were established back in 2020, registered in Illinois, but they do have a very strong presence in the United Kingdom. The CEO and the founders behind Trade Day have a combination of over 80 years of trading experience in the market. So this is actually directly off of their website, this paragraph here. I'm not going to read each word for word, but to kind of quickly sum it up, people were coming up to these founders and CEO and saying that they wanted to trade. But, obviously as traders themselves, they knew that it took a lot of hard work, dedication, consistency, and all that good stuff to make it happen. So with creating Trade Day, it would allow these traders to have the benefits of being guided in the right direction, mentored, shared the right information, and having the actual support needed to become a successful trader. And I will have to say to this mission statement that they do a very profound job at that, because for me personally, being with them since October and still haven't passed one evaluation, I have felt fully supported since the start of my trading journey with them. They are actively sending out newsletters to news releases to actively doing Q&As every month, answering questions in their active forum. You can talk to other Trade members straight out of the trader dashboard. So it's very hands-on here, and I think it's very inclusive to have a strong community like that and really try to push to have successful traders. Now, these are the current accounts offered by Trade Day. I do recall they had the 10K and 25K option before, and I might be mistaken on this, but because the 50% off discount is only applicable for these 4 accounts, I am going to go ahead and make the speculation that maybe that's why they temporarily removed the 10K and 25K from their website, at least at the time of this recording. Now, for all these accounts, they all have end of day drawdown, which means at the end of the trading day is when your drawdown is going to be updated. It will not trail you intraday as far as your unrealized gains. There is a 30% consistency rule in the evaluation, but it is not applicable to the funded account, which if you watched my previous review videos, I think this is a much better concept anyways. If you have to have a consistency percent, only keep it on the eval, not the funded, because one less rule on the funded is better for traders, right? Because we don't want to have more restrictions to prevent our payouts from going out. There is a minimum of 10 trading days that you need in order to pass the evaluation. And then finally, there is no news trading 2 minutes before and 2 minutes after the release. What that looks like is if there's a news release at 10 a.m., then you're not able to have any open positions between 9:58 up until after 10:02 a.m. The reset fee is a flat rate of 99 bucks, and it doesn't matter which account size, it's all the same for each account. And then finally, the big thing that happened recently in October of 2023, and what kind of really sealed the deal for me to want to push into Trade Day, is the ratios between their profit target and their drawdown. So if you actually look at it right now, it's definitely one of the leading factors of Trade Day that helps them stand out compared to other competitors. And I say that with confidence because if you do look at the standardized profit targets out there with other competitors, for 50K, it's usually 3,000. With Trade Day, it's 2,500. 100K, it's usually about 6,000, but with Trade Day, it's 5,000. Other competitors have 9,000 for the 150K, and here at Trade Day is 7,500. And then finally, if you're into the really big boy accounts, the profit target for the 250K is 12,000 at Trade Day, and I believe at other competitors it's like 15K, which is almost 3,000, or it is $3,000 difference. So definitely some huge strides when it comes to their ratio there. And again, one of the things that really inspired and influenced me to want to join the Trade Day group is trying to make it a little bit more, I guess, trader friendly to help people pass these evaluations and become funded. And then finally, one key little note, at least about the 250K account, is if you do get this one, you get a free one-on-one coaching package. So you don't have to pay anything for it. So that's pretty neat. You get to sit down and talk with, a coach and go over your trading psychology, strategy, and all that good stuff. If you do want to end up purchasing a one-on-one coaching package, I believe it's $50. So feel free to check out your trader dashboard if you haven't already. It's actually listed on there, and I don't believe the price has changed at the time of this recording. And one final cherry on top when it comes to TradeDay's accounts is actually that you can only have one account per user. So if you have one evaluation now, you pass it and you get moved into a funded, I don't believe you're able to actually buy any more evals. You can only stick with that one funded account. And same thing, like if you don't have a funded account, like you lose it, then you start off at square one at an evaluation again. So although you're not able to scale horizontally, you are able to scale vertically with TradeDay. And what that looks like is every $2,000 profit you make on your funded account, you are able to earn an extra contract or an extra 10 micros to your account. So you are able to get a max of 25 cons, and then after that, if you continue to grow and show consistency, then it's ultimately up to TradeDay how they want to move forward with that. But what that would look like is if, for example, you have the 50K account, you have a max position limit of 5 minis and 50 micros, but you surpass that 2K profit, so then they'll add an extra 1 mini here, so now it'd be 6 minis or 60 micros. Now moving along, we have the breakdown of what your timeline would look like with TradeDay. So there's actually two paths that you can take with TradeDay, and I think this portion of their trading journey actually also helps their company stand out a little bit more than competitors as well. And it's showing that path one, if you do pass eval, you have the choice to go to the funded sim. And then after that, if you do earn, up to $5,000 after commissions with the funded sim, you'll be placed into the funded live. Path number two is if you, pass the evaluation, then you can go directly into funded live. But ultimately, the choice is yours. You get to decide what is the best path for you. Based on what they've stated is that most people tend to pick eval and then funded sim and then funded live. But again, it's totally up to whatever's best for you, your preference, and your trading style. On the right hand side, I went ahead and kind of put together a little comparison chart so you're able to see the main differences between the funded sim and funded live. But the one thing I do really want to point out between the two is the slippage rule. So I am going to be covering what that is in just a moment, but that is applicable in the funded live. It is not applicable in the funded sim here. Now for the slippage rule, applicable only to the funded live. So what exactly is this? So this rule actually replaced, I believe, their 2020 rule that they had before. And the way that this works is depending on obviously which path you choose. So let's say that you pick the path of going from evaluation straight into the funded live account. If you took that path, then for any of the 25K funded live accounts and above, it would be where if your trading losses in that funded live account balance move to within $500 of your max drawdown, all your positions would be closed and your max position size would be adjusted to only 1 mini or 10 micros. So at this point, scaling plan's activated, which means every $2,000 profit you make, then they'll add in that one contract or the 10 micros. If you do take the second path where you go from evaluation to funded sim to funded live, then this is the scenario at play. If your account balance from the funded sim to funded live is less than $500, you'll start at 1 mini or 10 micros, and then of course you'll work your way up just as you would in the first section here. But if your account balance is more than $500 when you go from funded sim to funded live, then you get to start at whatever your evaluation contract limits are. So if you remember my example earlier, I mentioned the 50K has a max position size of 5 minis or 50 micros. So if you do have over $500 in your account balance from funded sim to funded live, you would be able to start off with the max cons if you wanted to. But if you have less than 500, then you start with 1 and then you work your way up. So that is how the slippage rule works. It's in place, it's replacing the 2020 rule. And so this is definitely something to make sure you fully understand before you get into your account with TradeDay, so you know what the rules are coming into it. Now, if you do have any questions about this or want more of a bigger breakdown, I would recommend to contact the customer support team or post a question in the forum chat, because everyone else is also able to see that same question, and maybe there's multiple of you that need more breakdown about it. then in the forum, everyone that is within trade day would be able to see it because it's like a public viewing section. So for the activation fee, this is a one-time setup fee of $139. And the way that the activation fee works is going to be applicable for all eval subscriptions after December 2nd of 2023. So for me, I got lucky. I bought my eval subscription back in October of 2023, so I do not have to pay a one-time setup fee. I'm waived of this, like it's not even in my radar at all. I don't have to worry about this at all. But if you did get an eval subscription after December 2nd, 2023, or December 1st, my apologies, then you would have to pay the $139. On top of that, for the funded live account, as I showed earlier in that comparison chart, you would have to pay the professional data fee, again, in the funded live, and that is, I believe, $135. Now for the payout policy rules, it's quite simple, probably one of the quickest slides I have. You just have to have a minimum of a $500 request, and that's it. You can withdraw as many times as you want throughout the day, and like if you wanted to do 3 withdrawals in one day, as long as each withdrawal is $500, you're good to go. So it's a really solid payout policy and not that many restrictions as far as like being able to submit a request and get it approved. But the requests are going to be processed anytime after 4:30 p.m. Central Time, which is after the trade reports start to run. On the right-hand side is going to be some breakdown about their payment processor. So we have RiseWorks, either through Bankwire or crypto, and these are what the possible fees would look like, and obviously it's dependent on the country you're in, the bank you have, and whatnot too. So it's pretty neat with trade day. I would like to say, taking a quick break before we move on to the next section, that aside from their very hands-on approach with support and wanting to ensure you have the right resources available, they're also ensuring that you are going to get paid out and that they kind of remove as much restrictions as possible. I think that this is a really great setup to show that, hey, like we want you to be able to take payouts and not have to worry about, rule 1, rule 2, rule 3, or requirement 1, 2, or 3, and just keep it very simple where as many times as you want in one day, and as long as each request is $500. It's a very, very clear-cut, simple payout policy that I've seen on the market for sure. That doesn't mean that other companies that have more requirements and rules aren't good. That's just to show that each company has its pros and cons, and it really is just taking and going with a company that you believe fits best and what you're looking for personally. So in the long-term run, this is definitely a company that I would love to grow with. And of course, in time, if they are able to start increasing the number of accounts that you can have per user, I think that would also continue to elevate them in a higher playing field. But for right now, I look at trade day as a definite like long-term journey, not just a very like quick cash grab and go prop firm. Now this is the trading dashboard. It has actually updated yet again since my most recent videos a couple weeks ago, and I'm not sure if this is the like finalized touch, but it is very nice. I think it's very cute and colorful, and it points out everything that you need to know. This is the evaluation dashboard, so if you're in the eval part of your journey or the funded sim account part, then this is where your statistics will come up. Number of days traded, your consistency percent, amount of profit, all that good stuff, and then most importantly, of course, the trading events or the news releases. If you go onto the trading room, which is this other tab, it's on the left-hand side. At this point, you can click on a button. If you're in Tradeovate or any other platform, you can click on this and it would open up your trading platform very easily. And then also we have the daily webinar. So every day at 6:30 a.m., they do chime in here and they talk everything about trading and what to look out for. And then, of course, again, we have another data release calendar to let you know what news releases are coming out. This is going to be where you can find a lot more helpful resources and support that can, be beneficial to your trading journey, whether it's about your trading strategy, your trading psychology, you want to get some coaching, or you want to talk to other traders in this space. It's going to be all found right here. So the way that it's supposed to look is under resources. Because I had to zoom out to get the whole screen in this picture here, that's why it looks a little funky. But I guarantee you it's going to be towards the end of the tabs. You can click on resources and then you'll see all the resources here, from courses, ebooks, forums, advice, all that stuff. The really cool part that I really enjoy the most, the top 3, is going to be the Let's Talk Trading, Good Day, Bad Day, and then the All Discussions. So the Let's Talk Trading, it's pretty simple, straightforward. It's talking about trading, the charts, what you're expecting. Good day, bad day is more so about, talking about your trade psychology, your mentality on the day, how you feel. So there's a very specific section for it, and I do appreciate that they offer that, because now you're able to talk and keep it a little bit more private to trade day members, and not just anybody random could, hop in. You have to be a trade day member and have a login so you can, actually sign in here and talk to a fellow trade day member about what's going on. And then that third part, the all discussions, this is the forum part I was telling you all about, where, everyone in trade day that has access to this like public viewing section, if you put a question here, then the customer support team or even the founders and the CEOs would chime in, and everyone could see the response to that said question. So with the dashboard, as I mentioned, very colorful. It's very loud as far as colors and the amount of information provided. And I do appreciate that they have a wide range of information, and it's not too intense to look around for things. It's a little more unique as far as how they set up their dashboard too. So I do appreciate at least the uniqueness that comes with it. But my number one thing I have to point out with their dashboard is just how much information is provided to you, because just like their mission statement, they want to provide you with the right guidance and resources and everything like that. And that's exactly what they did once you sign into your dashboard. But there's always room for improvement, right? Just like anything in life. And with trade day, it's quite crazy to see how the two things that are suggestions for improvement are not the most crazy outlandish things, and they're not the most difficult either. I think it would mean and say a lot more if we were to say that they needed to better their customer service, but that is not applicable in this case because they have wonderful customer service. The two things I would suggest for improvement, and based on my experiences with competitors in this space and what's kind of becoming standard, but also a lot of what you guys have been saying like time and time again and throughout the internet, is number one is the number of accounts per user. So we kind of touched base on this a little bit earlier, but I would like to think that part of the standard nowadays is 3 funded accounts and 1 live, and maybe even like between 1 to 3, around that range kind of makes sense, right? And we do have those outliers that they might have 11 or 10 or 20, but not every single company is having that. Most companies are starting to waver around like the lower single digit numbers, but at least a couple rather than just one. The second thing is just discounts. So this one is a little flip of a coin for me, right? Because there's always two sides for everything. So I would say that part of the reason why traders are pushing for discounts is because we have become so accustomed and spoiled in a way where companies are very generous to provide discounts, especially when we look at a competitor like Apex, where they're constantly having discounts, whether it's 71% all the way to 90%, or a 1-day pass plus another discounted sale. So we've become very used to that, where now another competitor, TopStep, had dipped into this idea of having a constant sale too, right? Because before, they were just like trade day, they would not have very often sales. But in this past July of 2023, when they dropped the one-step one rule, since then they've had 60 to 70% off their combines, and there's no expiration date just yet. So there's that kind of push for having more sales. And of course, other companies that I'm sure all of you guys know about, I don't have to continue naming competitor names in this video, is they're all pushing for sales as well. So Trade Day definitely has been, holding their own, holding their ground, and saying that we're only going to push sales when we want to, when there's a big reason, when there's a special occasion, or whatever their judgment is for their sale, right? But then the other side of it all is we're pushing for sales too because we want to spend our money on you, but we just don't want to spend that much money on you, right? So it's kind of funny to see how both of the teeter-tottering is going between both sides. But essentially, I think Trade Day overall, whether you take advantage of the sale or not, I think they're a really great company that offers a lot to their traders, and I think they're going to be here for a while. I mean, they've already been here for 4 years, and just holding their own, not like feeling like they have to adjust way too much to certain things. But it all boils down to what you're looking for, right? If you're looking for multiple accounts, if you're looking for discounts, if you're looking for cash grab and go, if you're looking for long-term experience, if you're looking for extra support, it's all these things you have to consider when you're looking at companies. So with Trade Day, because it's only these two things for suggestions for improvement, I think that they definitely are, moving along just fine. And because these are the only two things that could be easily fixed, to be quite honest, they're doing a pretty killer job out here. So that is going to lead into my final thoughts, which is, I mean, if you couldn't grasp from my whole conversation about them so far, is I've had a positive experience regardless of me not being able to pass an eval. That doesn't tie into the fact that they have a great customer support team, a great community, that they have a wonderful, really strong payout policy, and that they do have a lot of benefits to being part of them. Aside from their, main thing of standing out of number of accounts you can have, at least for my journey personally, it doesn't matter how many accounts because I'm still working to become a better trader anyways. So this helps limit the amount of money I'm spending on a company as well. So I would like to say that it's been a pretty overall positive experience with Trade Day, and the CEO and founder are very interactive with the people too, whether it's in Discord, social media, and actually personally emailing people, including myself, about the company and what kind of feedback can we provide to make it better. So it's been a pretty solid road, and hopefully they continue to expand on some of their features for this year and the coming years so that they can stay around for a long time, because that's what it looks like to me. So that is going to be it for Trade Day. Again, 50% off right now, ends on the 16th, and I'm not sure when the next deal is going to come out. So if you're interested to sign up, feel free to check them out. Or if not, just check out the link in my bio so you can actually look at their website, go through their help center, go through the reviews, and kind of gather your final conclusions about Trade Day and if it's even worth it to be with them. I do appreciate you guys for following me along this prop firm review journey so far, and I'm really glad that you guys are liking it too. There is a few more review videos I'm working on because a lot of people have been asking for certain companies, and for some of them I actually don't know too much about, so I'm gonna have to do some research there. But I do want to wrap up this whole video with doing a quick shout out to the members of my YouTube channel. I don't promote that I have memberships, and I don't pressure anyone into purchasing one or anything of that nature. This is really just a means to, if you want to become a member, it does support me a bit, and it shows me that you are interested in my content as well, aside from subscribing and liking and stuff. So just shout out to LB, Donnie Barker, Snowy L, and TX. Y'all have been so cool to be members of my YouTube channel for minimum 3 months all the way to 4 months now. So I'm very grateful for you guys. I'm very grateful for our community, and I'm just hoping that we all continue to just kick butt here in 2024. Again, thank you for your time and support, and as always, I wish you nothing but the best, most success in everything you do, and I will see you all in the next video.